Hey everyone, and welcome to your Crypto Daily Briefing, the only breakdown you need for what's really moving the markets. It is December 5th, 2025, and wow, it is a sea of red out there. So today, we're going to dive into why Bitcoin is staring down a critical support level, what's up with this surprising bullish signal from Ethereum, and which major altcoins are really feeling the pain. Let's get right into it. Man, it has been a brutal 24 hours across the entire crypto space. Red candles are just all over the charts, and the whole market is feeling the pressure. So let's just do a quick rapid-fire rundown of how the big dogs are doing. All right, starting with the king, Bitcoin. It's down 1.13% in the last day. Now, that's not a catastrophic drop, but it's absolutely setting a really cautious, nervous tone for everybody else. And Ethereum? Yeah, it's feeling it even more, slipping 2.28%. This just confirms that the downward slide is pretty widespread. It's not just a Bitcoin problem today. Now, check out XRP. Ouch! It has taken a serious hit, sliding down almost 5%. This really shows you how much harder some of the major altcoins are getting hit right now. And Solana is right there in the trenches with it, posting a sharp decline of nearly 4.8%. So there's your rapid-fire snapshot, and believe me, it is looking pretty bloody out there. Okay, so what in the world is going on with the market leader? Let's unpack the real story behind Bitcoin's slide and take a look at a super critical price level that has every single trader glued to their screens. Right now, Bitcoin is hovering around $91,933, but the number itself isn't the whole story. The crucial part here is its failure to get back above that $93,000 level. That's a huge psychological line, and stumbling here has definitely put the bears in charge. So what's really driving this downward pressure? Well, a massive piece of this puzzle is the deepening outflows from the Bitcoin ETFs. You gotta remember, these ETFs are like a window into what the big money is thinking. And right now, we're seeing funds pulling out, which tells us that some investors are getting nervous and taking their profits off the table. And all of this brings us to a term you absolutely have to know, a support level. Just think of it like a price floor. It's a point where, historically, a bunch of buyers tend to jump in and say, nope, the price is not going any lower. For Bitcoin, right now, that magic number that everyone is watching is $91,000. That is the line in the sand. And that leads us to the million-dollar question, right? Is this 91K level going to hold? Are we looking at the dip buying opportunity of the month? Or is this a warning sign of more pain to come? I seriously want to know what you all think. Drop your analysis in the comments below. Okay, but while the market looks gloomy, there's a really fascinating countersignal coming from Ethereum. If you look just beneath the surface, a much more optimistic story is starting to unfold. Now, this is where things get really interesting. Look, yeah, Ethereum is down against the dollar. We saw that. But, and this is a big but, it's actually gaining strength when you measure it against Bitcoin. And anytime you see the number 2 cryptos start to outpace the number 1, that's a classic bullish sign that gets people whispering about a potential alt season. And if you're not familiar, alt season is basically that glorious, almost mythical time in the market when all the other coins, the altcoins, start to go on these incredible runs, posting way bigger gains in Bitcoin. The first major signal for this is often that Ethereum to Bitcoin ratio. When that starts to climb, traders start to wonder, is it time? And it's not just whispers from traders. Some really big names are echoing this long-term bullishness. I mean, check this out. Tom Lee over at Fundstrat has put out a staggering long-term price target, suggesting Ethereum could, get this, eventually surge towards $62,000. Now that is a powerful dose of optimism to fight today's short-term fear. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Not every altcoin is showing that same underlying strength. We need to turn our attention back to Ripple's XRP and Solana, because both of them are under some serious selling pressure today. So, like we saw, both are down almost 5%. For XRP, that drop seems to be tied to some market jitters around Ripple moving 1 billion tokens. That kind of thing always makes people nervous. Solana, on the other hand, has a different story. It's actually seen massive institutional ETF inflows, over $500 million. But even that couldn't save it from getting pulled down by Bitcoin's gravity. This all sets up a pretty fascinating debate for long-term holders, doesn't it? In one corner, you've got XRP with its very unique and, let's be honest, controversial tokenomics. And in the other corner, you have Solana, which is clearly becoming a darling of institutional investors. So which horse are you backing for the long run? Let me know down in the comments. All right, so after all of that, what happens next? Let's wrap up by looking at the key events on the horizon that every single investor needs to be watching this week. Keep your eyes peeled for three major things. First, the upcoming U.S. inflation report. That is going to be a massive market mover, no doubt about it. Second, keep watching those daily Bitcoin ETF flow numbers. They're the best pulse check we have on institutional sentiment. And finally, of course, the main event, Bitcoin's defense of that $91,000 support level. All of this leaves us with that classic investor's dilemma. In a nervous market just like this one, when everyone else is running for the exits, is it time for you to be fearful too? Or is this the moment to be greedy? It's a timeless question to think about. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you for the next update.